Don't live in a world where you start thinking you're so special that one person is worth your time and another isn't. Hey beautiful human, thanks for clicking on this video. Welcome back to the struggle. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Rose. You're watching my fitness struggle journey. Today is Friday. I'm at the parking lot at the gym waiting to get things going. I did come early to do some jump rope. However, my head is pounding right now. So I'm just gonna sit here and read my tiny little book and do another experiment. But don't get it twisted. We're still gonna go and get this work. I'm gonna drink some water, close my eyes a little bit, and then hopefully by the time 5 a.m. gets here, I can get some work done. That's the plan. I'll see you inside. There you have it, everybody. Breakfast. The only reason you even see green on my plate is because I'm, up in my veggies. So some steamed broccoli. Then we have some eggs scrambled with some chicken sausage. Today I did 3 eggs and a sausage. That way I'm not short of protein later on tonight and have to chug some protein powder. So yeah, English muffin, apple butter. Good to go for breakfast. We're going to go ahead and finish these protein bars because I ain't got time to make anything else, y'all. Alright guys, I'm not sure if I shared this before, so I'm sharing it now. Here's how I make my egg rolls. I use some ground chicken from Publix, of course. You already know that I use some onions, usually red onions, but I don't have any of that, so white onions it is. This right here is some green onions. I just separated the green parts from the white part because this takes longer to cook. And then here I have some, what is this called again? It's kind of like soy sauce, but not soy sauce. Or it is soy sauce. I can't remember what it's called right now, so I'll just put the name on the screen. And then, liquid aminos. That's what it's called. Here I have some garlic and ginger. And then this right here is another important part. It has some cabbage, carrots. It's some purple cabbage, regular cabbage, carrots. It's a mix from Trader Joe's. And then, of course, you need your egg roll wrappers. I picked these up from Publix. They're also available at Whole Foods. So basically, I am just following the directions back here, but I'm replacing the sesame oil, and I'm also replacing the tofu, and I don't have tamari. And I skipped the sesame seeds. So yes, if you get lost, just pick up one of these wrappers. It will have the instructions there for you, and ta-da. So instead of the sesame oil, to save on the fats because my chicken contains enough fat for my needs, I'm just going to spray my cooking pan with some cooking spray. It doesn't have to be this one in particular, but this is what I have. And then I'm going to season with some onion salt. This already has sauce on it, so that's not sauce. This already has salt in it, so that's why I'm not adding that. So yeah, that's it. Let's go ahead and start cooking. Go ahead and start by heating up some oil in the pan. Wait for it to heat up first. Add your garlic, ginger, onion. Let that cook up, get all fragrant. Then you can add the white stems of the green onion. Let that cook up some more. It should be a little like translucent looking. And once you feel like it's cooked to your liking, go ahead and add your protein of choice. You can use whatever protein you choose to. It will work just the same. Let that cook up a little bit. I like to add a little bit of onion salt to every new item I add to the pan just to keep the flavors there. Make sure you cook it thoroughly before adding your veggies, your soy sauce, and any green stuff because it can be a little hard to tell if the protein is cooked or not. When you add your veggies, you want to cook them as long as you desire. I don't like my veggies super cooked, so I put them in there just to kind of soften it up a little bit before I add the rest of the stuff. As you add the green onion and soy sauce, you can turn up the heat and let the residual heat cook it, and then put it on the side and let it cool. Very important, let it cool. Once the filling is cool, you can go ahead and start putting your egg roll together. Again, instructions are in the back of the egg roll wrapper, but I just scoop 1 or 2 scoop of my protein mixture into the little wrap, and then I wrap it the way it suggests in the back. I have some water on the side. You may or may not need it depending on how hard you find that you're rolling. Turns out I was using 2 pieces of the wrapper instead of the one, so it was a bit difficult at first to roll. If the filling is too hot, the wrapper will tear. So again, make sure you're letting it cool. I ended up letting mine cool for like a good 30 minutes. Don't worry, it's gonna get heated back up as soon as you put it in the air fryer. As I'm wrapping these, I have my air fryer preheating at 390 degrees Fahrenheit. You can also prep these in the oven. There's directions for that on the back of the package. You can also deep fry these, which would be probably the worst way to prep them if you're on a fitness journey because you don't need all that extra fat. But if you're feeling fancy and you want a nice little crispy treat, you can pop it in the fryer. But I reassure you that putting in the air fryer with some cooking spray gives you the same effect. Any extra protein I just, munch on while the egg rolls cook. So since my air fryer is heated up, I go ahead and put them in there. Make sure you spray it, and then please check on it. It can burn very easy. Make sure you turn it so each side gets cooked, and then cook it as long as you want, as brown as you want, but mine took about 10 or so minutes. Here's the final product. I decided to add some steamed broccoli on the side for veggies, more veggies. Some island soyaki just in case I need something to dip it in, but I also like barbecue sauce. I think it would taste good with like a sweeter sauce, but here's what they turn out like. Not too bad. I like mine a little extra crispy, as you can see, but that's the whole meal. Here's what my next meal is looking like. I have the rest of that ground chicken from earlier. I just cooked it up with some onion salt and some Slap Your Mama seasoning, and that's it. And then here I have some kale, spinach, green beans with a little bit of vegan butter. And then on the side I have some burnt Japanese sweet potato, but they taste good just the same. Here's what I'm ending the day with. Can you guess what I'm short on? Fats and protein. I'm gonna do better next week, I promise. Cashews and a chicken sausage. Might pour some hot sauce in that, but that's about it. So it's actually a whole new day that I'm filming this piece of the video because it was either go to sleep and try to keep up with my 67 hours of sleep or record the video all exhausted. So I decided to go to sleep and figured I'd record this today. But what we're gonna pretend is the end of the day. Here we are now. So let me tell you what I read. These 10 pages, as well as the next 10 pages we're going to read, focus on the ego. Let me open to my notes real quick. I took some notes for y'all. If you're new here, we're reading Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. And our goal by the end of this book is to be a better human. In fact, my goal at the end of every time I do the 75-day challenge is to be a better human. And each time, the goals for the day become more and more ingrained, and it's just part of my everyday life, really. And plus, I'm really enjoying reading the books, although I do need to shift the books I'm reading because they're all starting to sound the same because they're all in the same category. So yeah, okay, so with the ego, there's 7 key points from the ego thingy from the ego chapter. And I'm not going to go over all 7. I'll pick the ones that I enjoy the most. And per usual, if you want to know more about it, you can pick up the book. So he says the ego is a mask. The ego makes us liars. The ego creates hierarchies, judgment. The ego is an obstacle to growth. And there's such a thing as institutional ego. And then the ego isolates us. I'll start with the quote from the beginning of the book. He says, when we are humble, we are open to learning because we understand how much we don't know. So the ego is a mask. He says, if you are satisfied with who you are, then you never have to prove your worth to anyone else. And I feel like this is easier said than done, especially when you think of students in a high school setting. But we're not students, right? We're mature adults. So you don't have to show up and show off to anybody. If you're confident in who you are, there's no reason why you should feel like you have to impress anyone. I don't care who it is. You ain't got nobody to impress but yourself. So when you're dressing to impress, make sure you're just dressing to impress yourself, because at the end of the day, people are not going to remember what you wore yesterday, okay? And if they do, they've been paying too much attention to you. That's what I like to say. So wear things that make you comfortable. Do things that make you happy. Be who you are, because also too, it's so much easier to just be yourself instead of pretending you're someone that you're not, because it's less work. It's just less work. He says you are who you are when no one is watching. So if you wouldn't steal from a friend when you're watching, then you wouldn't steal when someone's not watching. So just keep in mind your actions. It's when no one's watching, that's when you are your true self. So if it would be great if you could just be your true self anywhere. The ego does not necessarily want to be better. It just wants to be seen as better. Like when you're helping someone load up their groceries upstairs, are you doing it because you truly want to, or are you doing it because you want them to say, oh my gosh, you're so nice, you're so sweet, thank you so much? When you donate money and you post it and say, hey, I just donated $10, or you doing it so people can be like, oh, good job, you donated $10, way to go, or are you doing it truly because you want to? Because there's a quote somewhere in the Bible, or I heard it somewhere in church, what your right hand, I'm looking at my left hand, what your right hand is doing, your left hand does not need to know. So when you're doing things truly from the heart, you don't need recognition. You just do it. And be happy that you do it. Be happy knowing that you did it. And then that's it. You don't have to let everyone know, like, hey, this is what I did. This is what I did. It takes away a little bit of the genuineness from it. The ego creates hierarchies. Now, when you think you're better than someone, that's a problem. That's when you need to check yourself. You should never feel like you're entitled, because feeling like you're entitled means that someone is less than you are. And he says, when success goes to our head, we forget that everyone is equal. So don't go thinking, and I mentioned this when we were talking about our Varmas, I think it was, when we were talking about how different professions are valued in society. Just because your profession is here in society and mine is here in society, it does not mean you are better than me or vice versa. The moment you start thinking you're better than somebody else, that's when you need to really take a hard look at yourself and remember, like, whoa, what have I become? Because I'm just over here saying I'm better than you, I'm better than her, I'm better than them. And remember, no task is too important and no one is too important to do a task. So check. I think I'm going to stop there. And actually, I'm going to leave you with one more thing. He says the ego isolates us. And this quote here, I absolutely loved it. He says, don't live in a world where you start thinking you're so special that one person is worth your time and another isn't. I keep telling y'all about that. You better check yourself. You're never too important. I'll leave you with that, guys, and we're gonna go ahead and pretend that I'm going to sleep and waking up the next day. So until I see you again in the next video, make really good choices and don't let your ego get the best of you. All right, we'll do part 2 of the ego tomorrow's video, and until I see you again, good night.